Today we're talking to Mr. Don Spencer. And Mr. Spencer, you are running for the Clerk of the Court's office.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that this is an office that it's one of several that voters generally don't know much about. A lot of times they'll get to the polls and they'll say, oh, I just to tick a name off. They don't know what that office does. So let's talk about a little bit about what exactly does the Clerk of Court do?
The clerk has three main functions, and one of my goals is to bring the clerk's office to the forefront of the people of Santa Rosa County. One of the things the clerk does is the clerk keeps track of the minutes from the courthouse, collects fines and fees, and the public defender dues. A second thing that the clerk's office does is the clerk is the official record keeper. Records your mortgages, titles, deeds, marriage licenses, and keeps track of your passports. But the third thing that I think is the most important that the clerk's office does is the clerk is the comptroller of the county's money. The clerk is responsible for the fiscal soundness of the county.
And just tell voters, why is it important to them that they understand this office? How does it impact them?
The people need to be aware of the fiscal soundness of the county. We need to know where our money's going. The clerk is responsible for writing the checks for our county commissioners. We can't see where our money's going, so the people need to see where the money's going. I'm going to post those checks on my webpage. That way the people will have access. I believe open and transparent government will build accountability. I believe we need to build the trust back with our county. We need to understand what's going on, and we need to see where our money's going. Once we build the trust back with our county, then maybe our county can proceed forward. I don't think you should have to go to the clerk's office to get them. You don't have to go to the check register and ask the clerk to research it and fax you the document or mail you the document. That will tie up a clerk where they could normally be working with the customer at the front counter. The easier we can have access to this information, the better it'll be for the people, and the more efficient the clerk's office will become.
And now, Mr. Spencer, what made you decide to run for office this year? What made you decide to toss your hat into the ring?
I believe that the office needs to be brought up to current standards. It is behind on the times. I believe we need to save the county some money. I believe I can do that. There's 111 employees in the clerk's office. They all work hard. There's 3 chief deputy clerks that work in the clerk's office that are paid approximately $95,000 apiece. 2 of those chief deputy clerks are going to retire, and through normal attrition, I'm not going to replace those positions. I do not plan on laying anybody off. That does not help the economy, and it doesn't help the individual. All 3 of these chief deputies clerks are hard-working individuals, but when they retire, I'm going to delegate those duties to existing managers. That'll save the county approximately $250,000 a year in recurring dollars. That's $1.5 million I can save the county in 5 years by not filling 2 retiring positions. Hopefully the county commissioners can use that to offset any tax increase or prevent a tax increase with the funds I give back to the county.
Gotcha. Are there any major issues that you see in the next 4 years, where you would be in the office that are going to impact the clerk's office?
The state mandates that are coming out of the state is forcing the clerks through all the counties in the state of Florida to do different things. I always believe in being proactive rather than reactive. When the states push a mandate on us, we have to do it. I believe we should already have the foresight to already have that done, so when the state comes with a mandate, we can say, we've already done that. Here it is. We'll sell it to you to sell to the other counties, and hopefully provide a source of income for our county by thinking ahead and planning and looking 10 to 15 years ahead in the future.
Kind of along those same lines, I know the clerk's office has been working on filing for some time. And you talk to the lawyers, the attorneys will tell you that's key when they go into the clerk's office and they have a case upcoming and they need to get information fast, that those files be available and ready. Do you have any kind of thoughts on there as far as maybe what needs to be improved there? Or
There's a lot of errors in the files. I have worked in the courtrooms with the judges. The judges will be going through the files. They'll pull out a piece of paper in the file and hand it to the clerk and say wrong file. We've got to increase the quality control. We've got to get the right documents in the right files, and we need to get the motions filed by the attorneys in the right files, and we need to work with the attorneys to make sure that they have their product to proceed with their cases.
Gotcha. And Mr. Spencer, a last question. I just would you just tell voters, why are you uniquely qualified for this position, and why should they vote for you, basically?
I went to high school at Marion Military Institute, and from there I went to Florida State and got a business degree with a major in risk and insurance. I worked for the Department of Financial Services for 24 years. 19 was supervising the Bureau of Investigation office over in Pensacola. We investigated bail bondsmen, title agents, insurance agents, adjusters, banks, automobile dealerships, tracking where the money's going. After 24 years, I left that department. I was 52 years old and I went to the Law Enforcement Academy. I was the oldest guy in the class. I presently work for the Sheriff's Office at the courthouse with court security. Been there for almost 4 years. All my years with the Department of Financial Services more than qualifies me to run the fiscal soundness of this county.
Okay. Mr. Don Spencer, we thank you so much for talking to us today. Candidate for Clerk of Court, Santa Rosa County. Thank you.
Thank you.